Hello, how you doing? I'm Doctor now. And boy, he got a lot on his mind. I know. I'm supposed to be here talking about the unhealthy food he's eating and all the calories that's in it. But look at that motherfucker head. I mean, shit. He might got two brains up in that motherfucker. You can't lie to him about shit. He remember everything. I mean, with a head that massive, you got to have some form of telepathy, psychic powers. You should be able to move some shit with your mind, motherfucker. Is your mother still with us? Because if you came out head first or head last, either way, your mama needed hip surgery after. I mean, the last time you had a headache, you almost died. I bet you ain't never want no goddamn hat. And whoever cut your hair had to charge you by the square foot. The last time you had an epiphany, they had to take you to the emergency room. I'm sure there's some shit loose up there. I bet you shake his head real fast and sound like a goddamn marble in that bitch. I mean, you look like Super Saiyan 4, yo guy.
It states that 2 out of 3 dark-eyed star children go bad, and the earth, unfortunately, is about to rid itself of them.
A lot of people take sick with something, and they go to the doctor. The doctor don't know what it is.
She said that the principle of why 2 out of 3 dark-eyed star children will be removed from Earth can be seen here. In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, there were these 3 brothers who cheated Death. Death then tells each of the brothers, because they outwitted her, she'd grant each one of them a request.
The oldest asked for a wand more powerful than any in existence. The second brother decided he wanted to humiliate Death even further and asked for the power to recall loved ones from the grave. So Death plucked a stone from the river. Turned to the third brother, a humble man. He asked for something that would allow him to go forth from that place without being followed by Death. And so it was that Death reluctantly handed over his own cloak of invisibility.
She said the only righteous dark-eyed star child out of the 3 was the third brother. The reason being is the first one that requested the wand represents those who get drunk with power. He got drunk with power, constantly bragged about how he cheated Death, and someone unalived him to steal the wand because they felt no one man should have all that power. The second one used the stone to connect with the dead to bring back a loved one, a woman he was supposed to marry, but she died young. He didn't realize she truly had no desire to come back to Earth and was miserable when she got here. So she ended up evaporating back into the afterlife. He was so depressed that he took himself up to heaven. The third-eyed star child used the cloak of invisibility to hide and just have a normal life of assisting and encouraging those who feared Death. He then went on to live to be an old man and give the cloak of invisibility to his son. He then walked into the arms of Death as an old man, welcoming her. Miss Ella says, take this lesson from the first 2 dark-eyed star children. The first one got that elder wand and became drunk with power. The second became an eternal victim because he wanted to sway the fate and destiny of those who are on the other side. So whether you're a control freak or an eternal victim as a dark-eyed star child, that is not conducive to life. You have to hide and be a healer like the third brother.
That's watching this right now, and I'm sitting in my nation's capital now, and I'm telling you from my experience, the people that you elect to run your country are puppets. They are not the true wielders of power. Donald Trump likes to call this the deep state. And I'm going to tell you now that the deep state is alive and well in Australia. And it is alive and well in the UK. Of course, it's alive and well in the United States. We're all seeing that play out right now.
Why you can't fucking pay your bills right now? Why your shit is tight? Because these people stole the economy from you. And it's also that nobody can have any power. Like, bro, look how they tax us. They tax us with all this shit, but yet they print as much money as they need. So they take half of your money, and then they print whatever else they need.
It's a heist.
The rest of the money that you have. You see that?
Right.
But most people don't understand how that works, so they're not up in arms about it. If most people understood that these people are taxing us And by the way, we're all taxed. When we add it all up, it equal or more than half of our income. When we consider sales tax, the cost of ownership, a property tax, fucking tax when you buy shit, tax when you sell shit, income tax. Most people only think about income tax. But when you add it all together, you're paying over 50%, which means you're a slave to the government, okay? And then the money you're left with, they are printing trillions of dollars on the backside, which means the money you get to keep isn't worth as much. And most people don't understand this basic.
This is not about humans. This is about a very evil dark force who really enjoy to destroy all life on this planet. And it's still on. And I was enjoying them as well. I really, and I don't say it with regret because I'm going back now in time, otherwise it's a fake. I really enjoyed it to have the opportunity to destroy all humans and all life on earth. Nature was nothing. It was to be destroyed. We were hating everything what represent life, what represent the creator of heaven and earth.
Selena, appreciate it.
Don't take this very light. You can't imagine. I understand that. Not all can understand this. But this is going on till today. In the end, because I can give you all the details about everything I did in this world, like indirectly I was killing people. Like you are in a stealth bomber, dropping bombs. I did this financial-wise as missions, like destroying temporarily the economy of Italian. And then later on, when you are in the financial market, you listen to the people who were involved and they have a big laugh because some people were killing themselves because their companies were destroyed and they left behind women with children. And we have only a laugh about it. We joined it. That's the world I come out. My turning point.
How you laugh about something like that, destroying somebody's life? Like, that shit's crazy, ain't it? That's a crazy mentality to have, right?
Was that I was so good in everything I did with my team that I was, in their opinion, ready for the last stage. To be invited in sacrifice of children. That hits me. That was really going through my bunker. I couldn't handle it. It was hitting me like hell. I didn't go there. And I started to malfunction. And my whole career.
As if America couldn't get any worse. As you can see here, the Supreme Court supposedly effectively abolished the right to mass protest in 3 different US states. It's no longer safe to organize a protest in Louisiana, Mississippi, or Texas, and I'll let you know everything you need to know about this. The Supreme Court announced on Monday that it would not hear McKesson versus Doe. The decision not to hear McKesson leaves in place a lower court decision that effectively eliminated the right to organize a mass protest in the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. Under that lower court decision, a protest organizer faces potentially ruinous financial consequences if a single attendee at a mass protest commits an illegal act. So basically telling you they want to keep you in order, all while violating your very amendments. The court recently reaffirmed the strong First Amendment protections enjoyed by people like McKesson and Counterman versus Colorado. Supposedly, that decision held that the First Amendment precludes punishment for inciting violent action unless the speaker's words were intended, not just likely, to produce imminent disorder. As if it ever wasn't obvious, no one who organizes a mass event attended by thousands of people can possibly control the actions of all those attendees, regardless of whether the event is a political protest, a music concert, or the Super Bowl. So does that mean we can't have mass parades now? I swear government officials are just walking contradictions at this point. But look at this, people. So if protest organizers can be sanctioned for the illegal action of any protest attendee, no one in their right mind would ever organize a political protest again. Right before the election, people, it's pretty obvious what's happening here. And I'm telling you honestly right now, if Biden receives a second term, our entire country is ruined. As if it wasn't already sold to the highest bidder anyway. People are in for a rude awakening in America. And the only reason that Americans don't think that's actually realistic is because all of you rely on mainstream news and media to paint this image of truth for you, thus not allowing yourself to actually form an opinion for yourself in the first place. Americans rely on the central government for every single supposed necessity that they require. What's that sound like to you? Because do keep in mind, this beautiful green realm around us should be free to explore in the first place. But you gotta love capitalism and becoming mindless consumers, right? We give in to every single decision that they make for us, because none of you feel as if you have a voice of your own. It's pathetic, it's pitiful, and it does nothing for humanity moving forward. But look at this, the nation's highest court decided Monday not to hear McKesson versus Doe, okay? Leaving in place a decision by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that punishes protest organizers with extreme financial consequences if even one participant commits an illegal act. The decision, which now stands as law in Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, makes it dangerous and practically impossible to organize mass protests. As if Texas doesn't already have enough issues with the U.S.
What are they gonna take next? They gonna take our pockets? Just take our pockets, fuck it.
government. Has anybody seen the recent movie Civil War? Because God, it sounds pretty damn similar. If you think you are free living in America, you are absolutely wrong. But I'll tell you who is, the over 10 million undocumented migrants that have crossed the border since 6 months ago. From 25 different nations, people, with seemingly only 5% of those individuals being families. Which doesn't really mean anything because they're all left out in the streets anyway. But I want you to think about this, okay? If you give somebody a certain amount of money that they've never actually had before, do you think they'll voluntarily become a line of defense for the people who gave them that money? Think about it for a minute, okay? And then look into 15-minute cities and you tell me what that sounds like. It's really not hard to put 2 and 2 together, people. And if you're going to vote this year, actually do it right for once.
Let me explain.
From Tennessee, guess who else has seen it?
With a steady liquid payload. What does it say? Page 10. It says these...
They say a rare cosmic event appears to have opened a portal in Tennessee. And guess who else has seen a wormhole in Tennessee? Me, in 2006. This is my UFO encounter that I reported to MUFON in 2012. In 2015, Jan, the executive director of MUFON, hit me back. He did some sinister shit, went to prison, but before he did, he sent this guy, Hector, a retired military independent investigator. He lives where I live, and said he got my case and wants to do a face-to-face. He also said he knows where I live. And I'm like, damn, how you know where I live, bro? Peter Davenport, he wanted me to resubmit to this new website. Paul asked if I had a chance to have the skin item examined by medical professionals. In my case, I said I was abducted by extraterrestrials around 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. I listened to this woman.
It was 2:48 in the morning.
I also said, as I looked to the left, I saw what appeared to be something like a rainbow. It was
Sam, 5 gifted. I appreciate you. 5 gifted. That's crazy.
Purple and pink and set up my neighbor's tree. I've never seen that before.
I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. No rainbow, nothing like that in the sky at night.
Now this is the house we lived in right here. This was my room, and this is the tree. And that's where the wormhole was. This is us in the living room, and this is the backyard and the neighbor's house. I was standing right here on this slab right here. None of this was here. This is the tree that went over right here. This is the closest thing I could ever find to show y'all what it looked like. It was transparent, and it looks pixelated, more like the squares in the TV.
Basically, a QLED or LED TV has light in the back that shines through all the time, and then you're trying to stop some of that light with dimming zones, and you're changing that light into colors with color filters. That is the Q layer or the quantum layer. Now, OLED is organic light emitting diode, and it's a newer technology for TVs in general. And an OLED consists of millions of pixels that can all be lit up or change to a certain color or be completely off. Where you can have pixels that are on and off right next to each other, creating perfect contrast.
Now, when the UFO came out of that wormhole, it was surrounded by this neon green and blue weird ass plasma that looked like it should have been dripping, but it wasn't. We also have a mini CERN in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. This is what it looks like. This is the inside. We also have laboratories dedicated to figuring out how wormholes work.
Look at that streak across the sky, y'all. It's 2:48 in the morning. What the f is that? I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. No rainbow, nothing like that in the sky at night. What the f is that? Tell me what's going on. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Now let's listen to this breakdown by my guy.
This purple cloud, you see purple and light blue, light green. Watch the purple cloud. You're going to see them appear, and they're rolling from top to bottom. Watch. You see that one? You're going to see another one appear. See it? Then you're going to see another one appear.
Now, I believe that rolling is that plasma surrounding that UFO coming up.
That they'll change those rules on a whim, even though they said they can't be changed. Even if they
I'll take that just up for broke, please.
Did honor their word. By the time you get it back, it won't have even made up the value that inflation was degrading it in the first place, and you've lost money. You might as well have just taken the tax hit. And then the pièce de résistance is that media cons us into thinking that we can have the riches of avarice by putting what's left of our money after all the expenses and taxes into a market that is designed to take our money and recycle it. And the best part about that is that we can't really deduct those losses more than $3,000 a year, and we will take up to 40% tax hit on the capital gains. Oh yes, and the more money you make, the more it's taxed. Does this seem like a fair system to you?
Hey, do y'all not find it weird that a country with $35 trillion in debt is the one that's giving us a credit score? Make it make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the car market has officially crashed. Tens of millions of Americans and Canadians alike are giving back their keys and their car note back to the dealership. There are huge reputable dealerships that are closing down because it is costing them more money to keep the dealership open than close, y'all. This shit is literally over. Check it out.
My truck is $85,000. This truck is
Hey, I see that. Hey, Sean, look, I feel you.
$90,000. And I'm a used car dealer, and here at these car auctions, we're seeing auto loan delinquencies and repossessions spike.
So guys, John here, tens of millions of Americans are opting out of car ownership, giving the keys back to lender. They can no longer afford these payments.
Americans now falling behind on their car payments.
The average monthly payment for a new vehicle right now is $750.
Oh no, $47,000 for this little unit.
Where are they gonna put them? Where? There's nowhere. No empty spaces. It is full to the brim.
And look, $85,000, that's getting out of hand.
And the consumer right now, with everything costing so much.
Hey, how much y'all paying for y'all cars right now? Let me know. Let me see in the chat. How much y'all paying for y'all car payments?
They are not able to keep up with their payments. So what happens? They lose their cars.
These are the places that you're not going to hear about on the mainstream media, but are just completely going out of business. And by default, those people lose their jobs.
And if you're wanting to buy one of these big SUVs or nice trucks right now, it's not going to be anywhere close to $750 a month. You're going to have to pay way more than that.
$118,000, folks. 118 grand. Wow.
700.
No words. Clearly, the market is broken.
This truck right here is $96,000. So check this out. This is a full row of $80,000 and $90,000 F-150s.
That is getting out of hand.
There are so many auto loan delinquencies in the system right now that there are not enough tow truck drivers to service all of these lending institutions to get their cars back. And repossessed cars are the worst of the worst. They're dirty. They're nasty. They have parts falling off of them because the consumer knows if they're going to lose their car, why take care of it?
And I personally think we're going to walk into the biggest auto loan and auto market crisis we've ever before seen.
The other big thing I'm noticing at the moment is just seeing big dealerships disappearing. As soon as the values of cars came down, there just isn't the money left there anymore, and they're all defaulting and having to go through a bankruptcy.
So prices are so high that consumers are having to push out their loans to 72, 84 months to even be able to afford any of these vehicles.
But look, this is a Wrangler four-door.
Y'all said that, man. You thought that was LeBron James for a minute? Look, nah, that's LeBron James. If anything.
Sport 4x4, $66,000. That's absolutely lunacy. Clearly, the whole Canadian market is upside down. Vehicles are not selling. There's way too much inventory.
Ford Mavericks that you couldn't find anywhere. Look behind me.
What they're talking about, and literally this thing is over. People barely have enough money to feed their family or for emergency.
Oh, y'all didn't know? World hunger been solved. Meet Fritz. And you see, the world back then was having a problem. They were running out of food fast. I want you to listen closely. Humans plant stuff, but if they plant stuff in the same place, the plant will be weaker. And the next plant after that gets weaker, and so on and so forth. And that's because of this stupid little thing called nitrogen. And the world was running out of it. South America, the main producer of nitrogen, basically closed its ports, told the world, hey, it's me or you, brother. Now, humans been predicted this shortage. Imagine your whole livelihood basically depending on a compound. They've been trying to figure out better ways to get nitrogen for decades. Fritz figured it out. See, the crazy part about all this is nitrogen is all around us. It's in the air you breathe. Fritz said, let me just put it out the air. They said, Fritz, you're a madman. He said, don't call me by my name, call me what I do. Aha, he saved the world. But not quite. See, you know humans. What do humans do when they have an abundance of things? They hoard it. So back then, the problem was there wasn't enough food. Now the problem is, I want to keep it all for myself. Sure, it's a lot more complicated than that, but let's get back to the topic at hand. It took millions of years for Earth to get to 1.5 billion people. After Fritz's invention, the world gets to 8 billion in just 100 years. Half the people watching this video probably wouldn't have been born today without Fritz. But it never just stops there, huh? Oh, I forgot to tell you, Fritz is German. So is Albert Einstein, one of his closest friends, but they were a little bit different. When World War I happened, Albert Einstein said, nah, I don't want to be in it. Fritz said, I love my country and I would love to be in it. He's also known by another name, the father of chemical warfare. He invented something called chlorine gas. Now, chlorine gas was out of these things called trenches. Fun fact, that's why tanks were invented too, so your soldiers could hide behind the tank while you... Anyway, the way the gas people were so violent, everyone began to protest, including Fritz's own wife. He told her that the faster Germany can win with this, the more lives will be saved. She said, bet. As soon as he used that chlorine gas, she herself with his. But that only made things worse. He became consumed in his work. He created better and better ways for the gas to be used. He was promoted to a high rank in the military, but Germany still lost. World War II happens. He says, bet, let's get it poppin'. They say, bet, you're fired. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you another thing. He was Jewish. They said, thank you for all you done, get out of our country. He gets exiled. His son also gets exiled. His son's wife passes, so his son himself. His daughter spent her whole life trying to create an antidote for the chlorine gas that her father created. They told his daughter her research will be put aside for the creation of an atom bomb. His daughter herself. The new Germans take an invention of his, use it in certain camps, and his extended family gets... As he's in exile, he has a heart attack. So what did we learn? Well, the answer is...
I wanted a bill yesterday. I want to know what measures are going to be put in place to stop what's happening in Northern Ireland. People are coming in through Belfast at this moment in time, coming down into...
Look, I'm just showing y'all this one right here to show y'all they're getting invaded. Everybody's talking about this. It's not just us. We're not in it by ourselves. These niggas is going through it too.
The Republic, and what is happening to stop that flow. And there's nothing happening. Nothing is happening, Minister. The Department of Justice is not working. The Department of Immigration is not working. And that is why we have the chaos we have on our streets today in relation to all those people out there in tents. So, we just not, and I don't believe it's going to get any better. This pact is not going to provide the panacea for immigration measures in this country. I won the bill yesterday.
We're good. Dollar Tree closing 600 stores this year. CVS closing 900 stores through the end of this year. Walgreens closing 150 stores. Outback Steakhouse has already closed 40 of its restaurants. UPS is cutting 12,000 jobs in 2024. Citigroup cutting 20,000 positions as well. eBay, why not? 1,000 jobs lost there. Microsoft cutting 1,900 positions. Expedia cutting 1,500. Cisco cutting 4,000. Apple cutting 600. It's entertainment too. Regal Cinemas closing 429 locations. Kroger's grocery store chain shutting down 413 stores. It's not affordable to be in retail anymore. Foot Locker closing 400 stores by 2026. Macy's will close 150 locations by 2026. Walmart has closed 6 of its supercenters. While the U.S. Senate has passed nearly $100 billion to send to other countries that Joe Biden just signed yesterday, most can't even find Ukraine or Israel on a freaking map, let alone Taiwan. We're paying money that we don't have as our economy goes down the toilet and American jobs die. Of course, we know we're going to ban TikTok so nobody can talk about it freely.
All over everybody, all of us subconsciously, there's a holy battle going over your head right now, over the choices and everything, your thought process, your dreams, everything that you're going through. They're battling over your subconscious right now, and we're able to visually see that when we pass away. It says the demonic ones will try to reach for us, but they have no authority through the Most High, and that we begin on our ascension to our judgment, where we are judged, and our karma is then placed on our seed, our seed line, when we're down here on earth. So everything that your son is going through is from whatever your dad, whatever sins that you have done, that's going to be placed on him.
I've always been one person skeptical of the word karma.
Right.
I've always believed it the way I've read it. You plant good seed, good seed will grow. If you plant negative seed, bad seed will grow. To you, the only issue that I've ever had is the passing along that my son has to pay for what I've done. But
so I'm sorry, bro.
No, go ahead.
You've grown up in your life right here in this area, right? And you've gone through certain that you've gone through. Is there any time in your life where you could say, "Man, I don't deserve this shit"?
And this is not a debate, but I just want people, the fans, to see a different perspective.
Right.
And I asked a Hindu this because he was trying to teach me on karma, and I was allowing him. But he said, "Oh, you know what?" He said this: "We don't like Christians going into our country and trying helping us because they don't allow us to deal with our karma." And I said, "So what are you paying?" He goes, "For what my ancestors did, and it was passed down to me."
Right.
So I just asked him this: "How much do you owe? Who do you owe it to? And how do you know when you've paid it?" And he couldn't answer. So that's why I kind of hang on to like, okay, I'm gonna hold off on that, but I'm not gonna totally just disagree with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So because we have to have an open mind if we're ever gonna learn.
Right. Ghosts or any spirit that's here, and I'm only stating from scripture, those will be abominations. Those can't break the firmament or go to any sort of judgment. They're bound here to the judgment till they will be cast into the lake of fire. Those were never supposed to be made. God didn't make them. There's animals here that are hybrids. There's people here that are hybrids that were never supposed to be made. There's also fruit and vegetables that weren't supposed to be made. That are hybrids.
Some people actually believe that Chupacabras, if he's real, that he was a hybrid.
Right.
And then some people believe, remember for a while they were cloning animals.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say something about the Book of Enoch, what I had heard.
Right.
Now I'm going to go once again with what I had heard.
Right.
That the reason why it was not included in the actual Bible, even though there are some disciples that actually do quote from the Book of Enoch.
Right.
Okay. It's because they never actually found a scroll. From it. So they cannot confirm that the Book of Enoch that is out today is the actual one that existed from the one they were quoting from.
Right.
So that's why.
A lot of people don't believe in it for whatever reason. Because I study science too, I believe in it because of, if I were to explain the planets to you and show you videos on the real, how they really look, it matches perfect up with the Book of.
The video that's reviewing was taken by me a couple of days ago. It's of an entity, being of some sort. I don't know what it is, but you can't see it with the naked eye. It has to be looked at through a filter in order to see it. You can be standing 10 feet away from it and not know it's there. If you saw the movie Predator, it is better camouflage than that. But anyway, in the video, you'll see between the hash marks on the tree is where one of them, not real plainly, but if you look at it, you'll see the legs and the tail and the torso. On top of the air conditioning unit, there is one of their offspring, and it's trying to get it to come down to come with them, and it's been there for days. And there's a third one between the air conditioning unit and the tree. That's a solid mass, and everything around it's moving, but that thing will stay still. And I noticed that the other night. That's how I figured out that's what it was. But it'll move out, move back in. Watch the thing on top of the air conditioning unit too now, because it does move. It doesn't look like it looks like a massive crap. I can't make this shit up, y'all.
Yeah, I said pause, didn't I? I said pause, man.
In Vegas, not stay. Circled the known universe. The frenzy grew when reports surfaced that unknown authorities had afterwards placed cameras around this family's home.
Shit like this. What is that? What is that? That John morphing and doing some crazy shit. Pete, y'all, Pete.
That's Diddy in there, y'all.
Like, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like this. Ever since 2012, it's been a lot of weird shit going on that we cannot explain, bro. And listen to this. Y'all know TikTok is not controlled by like Instagram, Facebook, and all them other joints. They all tied together except for this. This is where we get all our news and information from, bro. This is how we're awakening at a fast pace, and they don't like that shit. So they trying to get that joint out of here. Wake up!
44 different documents from the governments whereby they admit the Earth is flat. Documents from the CIA, USSR, U.S. Army, NASA, Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, U.S. Navy, National Imagery and Mapping Agency, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and the U.S. Marine Corps, which includes state-owned universities such as UCLA, Penn State, and Shenyang Aerospace University. Government admits flat Earth document number 1, put out by the CIA, whereby it looks like they stole it from the USSR, and this document was created, appears to be sometime around March of 1957. And you'll notice that in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the title of the document, the author, if there is one cited, unless there's a ton of them, and I'm not going to list them all. And then you have the URL of this document, so if you want to go download it yourself, you're able to. And when I go through these documents themselves, you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner is the page number where you can find these phrases and words cited. So beginning with page 19 of 100 for this dissertation, there's the brightness of the firmament. The firmament is a biblical term which is mentioned in Genesis chapter 1 8 different times, and beginning with verse 6. And the firmament was made to divide and separate the waters from above from below, as well as the sun, moon, and stars are placed within the firmament. So please, Army, page 7 says
Game of Thrones would have been putting it all in our face. And I mean, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. Watch this intro with me talking over it, and then I'm going to display some pictures of, I'm on season 5.
Yo, smash that like button. Well, we got like 8,100 people in here, 8,200 people in here, and we got like 2,000 likes or something like that the last time I checked. Look, man, we should at least have like 6,000 likes. This is crazy. Appreciate y'all for already hitting it though, the people that hit it though.
Attention to, and I don't know what made me rewatch this, but I'm about to fuck your head up. Here we go. Watch the beginning intro. That is a sun simulator. You see it? Circled with rings. Rings of Saturn. In our face the whole fucking time. That's the crazy part. Of course they're showing you all this shit with the checkerboard if you missed it. There was a checkerboard there. But they're going to show you every castle, which is basically... Oh, before I get to that, look at the design of the map. It's showing a flat Earth with longitude and latitude lines. You see how they're going around in a circle, but not in a globe sense? Keep that in mind. But the building of the castles are basically, if you notice, they look like old engineered clockwork, which are what? Devices. Energy harvesting devices. Now we're in the future, our shit looks like motherboards. But back then, same shit. It was clockwork. Gears. This shit is crazy. I was like, holy shit. It's the same type of format. But ours is just in the future of cities. Look at the sun simulator with rings of Saturn. Y'all don't see that shit? Y'all don't see that shit. The wall, which if you know, you know, the ice wall. Now I'm going to stop right there and show you some scenes of what happens in this realm today, which is also in Game of Thrones. What do they call? The protector of the realm. That's it. At a point in time, throughout the course of this whole show, we are given overhead to these White Walkers and families that were beyond the wall, the real North, were sacrificing babies to these gods. In season 4, there's a part where all the women that are stuck, married to their father, gift to the gods, gift to the gods. Truth in plain sight. What is Christmas? What is Saturnalia? Message to the sun god at that was dropped off at an altar in winter. Message. You don't see the synchronicity here? It's truth in plain sight. Also, if you know, you know. What's most peculiar is the Iron Bank, which is the Federal Reserve, which has 3 chairs. That number 3 is used a lot. Also 7. Gods of the 7. Holy Trinity. Bruh, Game of Thrones, rewatch that through spiritual eye.
You want to talk about science? I can scientifically test what I'm saying. I can take an object that's more dense than the air. I can drop it. It goes down. Then I can use a Van de Graaff generator to introduce electrostatics. I can make the object levitate and or just go up. I can change its weight. I can change how fast it falls with electrostatics. All objects that exist are electrostatic. The air is electrostatic. Even in a vacuum, there's electrostatics. So I've now scientifically proven that electrostatics will change the weight of an object, how fast it falls, and its direction. Now, can you do the same thing with gravity? Can you give me an experiment that actually isolates gravity and proves it's the cause?
Okay, I'm ready to go to questions. I'm actually this is exactly how I thought it was going to go, and I'm not thrilled about this.
The way we establish elevation is we measure a vertical distance above the perpendicular horizontal baseline. That's how we measure elevations. Has nothing to do with the curved earth. I can pull up the government's official engineering site right now that says for up to 100 square miles, all engineering assumes that the earth is flat and uses plane survey. All of it. It is not in any way. How can you build a bridge assuming the earth is curved? He said it himself that it's curved, you just can't tell. It's close enough. So in reality, plane survey is how we get maps, distances, how we do engineering. The globe claims, oh, well, if we stitch them all together over a distance, I promise it would be curving. Let me actually change the radius by 15%, assume refraction, assume the curvature, throw out all the other measurements, cook the books, and then if I get within 80%, somehow that proves that the Earth's a ball, and then they hijack the horizon, which is optical, and claim that it's physical. And everything that I'm saying is a fact, okay? And that's why we have to assume the Earth is flat to get elevation. And that's why we have to assume the Earth is flat to build things, because if you assumed it was a globe, it wouldn't work. These are all facts. So they got everyone. Oh, I never feel like I'm moving, but I'm moving, and I see the sun and the moon move, but they're not moving, and the sun looks like it moves in the sky, but actually it's sitting still, and I'm just falling backwards during the sunset. I just can't tell. And the horizon, which is where the word horizontal came from, is of course horizontal and flat, but actually it's curved. You just can't tell. The sun and the moon appear to be the same size, but actually the sun's 400 times bigger than the moon, just coincidentally exactly 400 times further away also. So it looks like that. So whenever you can't trust your senses at all, you actually have to turn to an authority to tell you what's up. Right, and so that's how you condition someone to make them a slave. They're like, oh, I can't even figure out the basic stuff. Everything I experience is the opposite of truth according to these people, so I need them to tell me I'm not smart enough to figure it out. And then they just brainwash you. I mean, that's just one of there's probably 20 different answers to this question, to be real.
For people that are interested in logical debate, you are in for a treat. I mean, witnessing Austin Whitsitt debate is like watching prime Michael Jordan play basketball.
Field. I can easily explain that, but we're gonna actually conclude the first point you're trying to get away from, which is you asked how there's a gas pressure gradient. I explained you can't even have a change in pressure delta X without X, the antecedent to gas pressure is containment. And we can replicate a gas pressure gradient inside of a container, especially whenever you're introducing gas to the surface level constantly, which is what we observe on the Earth. And that we have a vertical electric gradient that results in a downward electric current that is provable, testable, measurable. We can run generators off of it. You guys just deny it. So that is a fact. And then I said, well, you can't even have the antecedents for the pressure to have the gradient in the first place, so that it backfired and you can't support it. You responded with the strawman fallacy saying, oh, now we don't have a gradient, so I can't go to the top of Mount Everest with different air. No, I literally explained how you could have the gradient and how you can only have the gradient on a plane Earth that's contained. So then you tried to change the subject. So would you like to conclude that you can't actually demonstrate it? We can demonstrate it, and Flat Earth takes the dub again, and then we can move to the next point? Is that what you want to do?
No, because they're none of my questions. So let's go back to the one where I talked about gravity.
One of the ways that we actually know that demons are becoming more powerful is we actually keep statistics in our community. Because I've been doing solemn exorcisms for 15 years, and I've been doing regular other exorcisms, minor exorcisms, for about 17 years. And so we started keeping statistics, and what we started to notice is that in relationship to possession, where demons actually possess people, the number of possessions is statistically remaining the same. It's 0.5% of the general population, 0.5%. So 1 out of every 200 people is likely possessed. And of those people that come to us, it's about that same statistic. But statistically, when you're talking about diabolic obsession, the amount of rates of diabolic obsession are drastically on the rise. When you talk to exorcists, what they're finding out is that the statistical number, the average, I polled several of the top exorcists in this country, and I asked them, what percentage do you think of the adult population in this country is diabolically obsessed, which I'll talk about in a minute. Every single one of us came up with the same statistic, 25%. Diabolic oppression is also on the rise, but for different causes. Diabolic oppression is also on the rise. We figure that the average number of people that are being diabolically oppressed is somewhere between 10 and 15% of the population is diabolically oppressed. It's an indicator that the diabolic influence is drastically increasing, and it's increasing for a variety of different reasons. It's increasing because people are doing a lot of evil things. Every mortal sin, this is something I tell people, every mortal sin is an open door to possession. In fact, mortal sin by its nature takes the person out from underneath the authority structure of God and places the person underneath the authority structure of Satan. The proper effect of mortal sin is possession. Now that doesn't mean that everybody who commits a mortal sin becomes possessed, because even though the person opens the door, God is the one who determines whether the demon gets to step across the threshold. And so that means that by the mercy of God, most people who commit mortal sin do not become possessed. But the number of evil things that people are doing is opening up the door to demons getting more influence in this life. Then, of course, there's the increase in the occult. We're seeing this all over the place. The amount of occult material, the occult activity that's going is drastically on the increase. And as exorcists, we're seeing it across the board. The other thing that we're seeing is, when I first started doing exorcism, well, let's just back up. Before 1963, the average time to liberate someone from full possession was 1 to 2 days.
When they opened the tomb of the Pharaoh, they bring about more problems than they can account for. Those tombs were sealed for a reason. Seeing as how many books were hidden from us, there had to be an agenda. You can take a moment to pause and read. Just to let you know, it's never been about the greaterness or betterness of mankind. Everything up until this point was to serve their master. As you can see, it's a lot more than you know. There's a reason why they make movies they call Packed with the Devil. There's a reason they came in Sauce 90 when he put y'all on game and told you what was going on underwater. Yeah, real sirens. There's a reason why I showed you the 1988 Lizard Man of Lee County, South Carolina, and it was on my throat. There's some things they do not want revealed. See, the thing is, they get scared when you get too close to pulling the lid off the Pandora's box. They're so busy worried about being held accountable, but they're never worried about us knowing the truth. Remember, common sense and discernment doesn't fall from trees, nor does it grow from one. Keep God first. Peace.
We have to protect our children at all costs.
Alright, what's your name?
Abby?
Do you have a boyfriend?
Nope.
Okay, check this out. Look, if you tell me the craziest secret you never told your parents, and if I find it crazy, I'll give you $500 cash right now.
How many followers do you have?
Well, I'm just starting off right now.
Something that my parents don't know is that I'm a sociopath.
What do you mean?
I go to restaurants and like I poison like the ketchups and like the condiments and the tables.
So what do you mean you poison the condiments? What do you mean?
I put rat poison in like the ketchups and the mustards and all that stuff. And then I like to watch the kids eat it. It's funny.
Wait, so you're telling me is you like putting rat poisoning in like ketchup bottles, mustard bottles, or whatever type of bottles at restaurants?
That's right.
You realize you could go to jail for this, right? You submitted to a crime.
Oh.
What happened if your parents in this video?
They won't. As parents, be overprotective. Be that mom.
Midwesty than cannibal sandwiches, aka raw beef sandwiches. Basically, you're taking some rye bread, topping it with pepper jack cheese, raw ground beef, onions, salt, and pepper. This is super traditional old school.
Midwest shit my ass. I ain't never heard of that. I've been in Midwest 29 years. Ain't never heard of it. You know what that is? You already can read my lips. You know what I'm finna say. That's white people shit. Fuck eating raw ground beef sandwiches around here. Then shit in part of Wisconsin I ain't never even heard of. Stonehill, Stonewall, whatever the fuck that shit said. Never heard of it. So what the fuck you got going on? Related to Jeffrey Dahmer or some shit? Cause what the fuck? Raw ground beef sandwiches? Nothing about that sounds appealing. Nothing. Why do you even want to eat some raw food? Like I don't even understand people who eat sushi. But raw ground beef, no flavor, no nothing. Then you gonna have nerve to put some onions on top of that motherfucker. She barely bit into that motherfucker. So you ain't finna tell me this is a Midwest classic and only you know about it. They probably in the kitchen cooking that shit like this bitch said she want what? She want a raw ground beef sandwich. Not serving her that. You probably have to sign a waiver to get that shit. Cause if she gets sick, then what? She sue the restaurant? Raw ground beef sandwich. It's a Midwest thing. No, the fuck it's not. Fucking lying.
So, are these the extremes that people are willing to go through in order to have what?
Yep.
For what, y'all? What is this about? Can somebody please explain what is this? Demons that affects your eye. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Can y'all? This is a real eye. This is what the optometrist sees, y'all. Like there is something going on with their eyes. Look at that. You guys ever seen something like that? Hyalosis asteroides is a relatively rare condition that affects the vitreous humor, the gel-like substance that fills the back of the eye between the lens and the retina. Small white, grayish, or spherical deposits resembling tiny stars or asteroids from within the vitreous humor. These deposits are composed of primarily calcium, soaps, or fatty acids and are believed to be remnants of degenerated cells or cellular debris. It states that it doesn't cause any symptoms or vision Oh my goodness, steroids, like literally for real. This is literally a medical condition that affects your eye. Look. Oh my goodness, can y'all? This is a real eye. This is what the optometrist sees, y'all. Like there is something going on with their eyes.
Crazy.
Look at that. You guys ever seen something like that? Hyalosis asteroides is a relatively rare condition that affects the vitreous humor, the gel-like substance that fills the back of the eye between the lens and the retina. Small white, grayish, or spherical deposits resembling tiny stars or asteroids from within the vitreous humor. These deposits are composed of primarily calcium, soaps, or fatty acids and are believed to be remnants of degenerated cells or cellular debris. It states that it doesn't cause any symptoms or vision problems, y'all. But it says in rare cases, particularly when the deposits are densely distributed, they may cause visual disturbances such as floaters or blurred vision. All my life being present on Earth, I've never seen or heard of anything like this. We literally are the universe. We have the stars in our eyes. That's why our eyes look like a galaxy. But that's crazy, y'all. Have you ever seen anything like this? Please let us know down in the comments below, y'all. This is insane.
See the spiral? Apparently there were anomalies before all the tornadoes that we just had. And it was recorded in multiple spots. Like epicenter.
Y'all saying those are parasite turds? Oh, I'm gonna have to look more into that. That's crazy. I just know that I ain't getting that shit. Like, you know, that's crazy, but that's parasite. I gotta look more into it now. Y'all gonna make me do a whole video on this type of shit. That's crazy. Got me going. Got the heebie-jeebies going, you know. I ain't never seen a person in person walk up on me and you don't come outside and look at nobody if you got that type of shit going on.
If you will. It's hard to make out the one down here, but we're about to go back up to the top one. Look at this. Look at that spiral. I'm gonna zoom it in.
See that circle right there? Yeah.
Even the governor of Oklahoma said even he had not seen that much destruction. He lives there. Look at this spiral. I was telling y'all, these tornadoes, there is something different about these things. And there's been a whole bunch of weather anomalies, or radar anomalies over the last couple months. Like we've had the 3 from Antarctica, those anomalies. And also, do you remember when Oklahoma had all those earthquakes last year? The weather anomaly I showed you then? It's crazy. What is it? What do y'all think it is? I believe these buildings and the downtown area of Oklahoma had not been touched in hundreds of years. They had been there basically forever because we don't even know our own history. But besides that fact, you know, tornadoes usually don't come over here. And we're having these anomalies at the same time. And there were over 140 tornadoes in 2 days. No, this was something that...
And this is the destruction that's been going on. But the easy way to explain it is, you know, these are solar cycles, you know, like this stuff, it always happens. This is nothing new. I understand that we're new to the planet in these physical bodies right here, but this happens all the time, and the poles shift, and, you know, it is what it is. We're going to be seeing different shit happen, and it's just an amazing time to be alive. Not for some people, but for a lot of people. Because I couldn't imagine being on the butt end of some of this stuff that we're gonna see on here. Like, especially with them damn tornadoes, though. Them shits are gonna keep ramping up, though. That's the way it's looking. May, appreciate the 20.
Okay, you guys, this is a very important video. I need you to pay attention because I need your help, because we may be stuck in a time loop, a glitch in the matrix. I don't know what's going on over here. One of my followers brought this to my attention. So about 13 years ago, on April 27th, exactly to this date, there was about 360 tornado outbreaks throughout the southeast region. Remember, today's April 27th. Check this video out.
Today is a day that will always be remembered in our region. It's the anniversary of a tragic event. Welcome into News Channel 11 and ABC Tri-Cities this morning. I'm Karen Jenkins.
And I'm meteorologist Alex Williams. We'll talk this weekend's weather in just a bit, but first we want to take a look back on this day 13 years ago. April 27th, 2011, when 360 tornadoes hit the southeast during a super tornado outbreak.
That's hard to believe. This all took place between the evening hours of the 27th into the morning hours.
So y'all see that, right? 13 years ago on April 27th. Now watch this. Now this is today.
Let's take a look, a snapshot of April so far as the month. We've had 270 reports of tornadoes. To date average, we typically see about 218, so we are running above average. Now, mind you, as we look back over the past few weeks, we have had a threat of severe weather each and every day so far, with the exclusion of April 5th. That was the only day where we did not have a severe weather threat. Today, we also have a level 4 out of 5 threat for today. Now, this is a part of a multi-day severe weather outbreak. It began on Thursday, and we are now in day 3 of 4. So over the past 2 days, we have experienced 360 severe thunderstorm warnings, 114 tornado warnings, and 2 tornado emergencies, spanning a swath of real estate from Texas all the way up into the kind of central and northern high plains, especially Nebraska, Iowa, taking the brunt of the severe weather yesterday. And speaking of Nebraska and Iowa, I want to show you what it looked like on visible satellite yesterday afternoon and evening as we had explosive development of these supercells as they raced their way across a very favorable environment. The atmosphere was primed and ready to go for these rotating updrafts to occur and produce violent long track tornadoes, some of which were on the ground for miles at a time, over an hour in some locations, and they were very large and unfortunately very destructive. We know there was catastrophic damage in Elkhorn, Nebraska, as well as in Minden, Iowa. Now, the severe reports, again, 393 across much of our nation's midsection, and want to zoom down to show you the number of reports, at least in Nebraska and Iowa, 51 reports of tornadoes. And we were mentioning Elkhorn, catastrophic damage from this very large tornado that moved
Pyro, welcome to the OGs.
right through the western side of the city. And then the city of Modale, a tornado that worked its way through the city, but then eventually roped out. And then also heading over to Iowa, the city of Minden, a very large multi-vortex tornado ripped through Minden, and it was at least a third of a mile wide. And then Harlan, a multi-vortex tornado as well. So again, tornado probability, this is the time of year where we oftentimes see severe weather outbreaks, especially in this part of the country.
Did you guys hear all that? You catch all that?
Damn, what you say? Y'all got hit with the baseball size hail too? Stay on top? But that's crazy. That's crazy. See, look, man.
51
Let me know.
tornadoes.
We got some other size hail too. Let me know if that's happening out there as well.
On one day in Nebraska, that is crazy. Did y'all see what happened to China? Bro, look at this, y'all. Boulder size hail came down raining from the sky, y'all. What? Look at that. Look at, these are boulders, y'all. This was today. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Did y'all hear that? It sounded like gunshots going off. Oh my goodness, man, yo. In some places the hell wasn't as big, but this particular spot over here seen huge boulders of ice coming from the sky, y'all. Like, what is that about? Could that be like the frozen, you know, chemicals like that's coming down? That's crazy, y'all. Yo, what is going on?
Nigga, so the whole time we was kids, that was the real world, nigga. So the real world was when we was kids. They showed it to you as a child. See, it's law of the universe. They gotta show us the truth, family. They got to. That's the law of the cosmic universe. They gotta tell you these draconian reptilians. Alright? I think we like to focus on human beings too much. They are not the ones in power here, family. They were manipulated too. They being used, but they not in power. Let's not forget who the true people are in power, which are your draconian reptilians. Alright? Yes.
He said we're gonna mess around and get swallowed up. Get swallowed up. Yo, y'all crazy.
Extraterrestrials run the motherfucking planet. A race of them. It's a bloodline of them. It's actually they from the Draco star system. It's way more of them than that. You got a lot of different reptilians. They are a whole species, nigga. You got the Chitauri. Alright, they got wings. You got the Alpha Draconians. They like 25 feet with wings. You got the Omegas. Right? You got the hybrids, which are little. They like about 3, 4, 5 feet Yoda size, nigga. They run around, nigga. When they get deeper than that, you got the insectoid ones that look like insects. Like when they showed you the movie Aliens, that's an actual species.
Hey, do y'all know, cool fact though, alien.
The insectoids.
I put it on
that's
the
an
channel.
Actual species. And they ass ugly as shit.
Appreciate you, see.
But that's an actual species. And they can't fuck with you, so it ain't no reason to be scared of them. You are more powerful than them. That's what I'm gonna tell you about the reptilians too. They some bitches. Nigga, they some bitches for real. They just look like that. And they run in droves and hives and shit. They ain't gonna try to fight you. They ain't gonna approach you one-on-one. Why you think ain't too many of us ever seen a draconian reptilian in the flesh? Cause they bitches, nigga. For everybody from the streets who in here just learning, let me help them out. They some bitches, nigga. Alright? They look tough. They look scary as fuck. But they ain't about none of that life. They ain't trying to do this. See what I'm saying? We gonna get in there and do this, ain't we, nigga? Nigga, hit me cause I'm about to hit you, nigga. Fuck me up cause I'm about to fuck you up, nigga. So, we gonna fuck each other up. That's us, ain't it? They ain't like that, y'all. Nigga, you know how y'all know they bitches? I'll be real with y'all, cause I war with them in the astral realms, nigga, and I keep this on in the physical realm. Cause they'll try to jump me, nigga. You know, they like to send them little hybrids at you. They'll come at you deep too, nigga. Them hybrids be deep, nigga. They'll come at your ass 30 strong. Them little motherfuckers will come at your ass. You feel me? And then the big ones, they try to use their size to intimidate you, but you bigger than them. Remember, only in this material realm for now is their physical avatar really bigger than yours. In your real form, you way bigger than them. They some bitches, nigga. Nigga, ask yourself this: if they was some gangsters, why you ain't never seen them they real form in your physical self and they run everything? I'm still teaching y'all. I know y'all laughing, but I'm giving y'all insight on this shit. Cause they look scary as fuck and I can't let y'all move off no fear. I gotta pull their card. You know how it is in the hood when you growing up, right? When a nigga try to act tough and you know he ain't about that. Like, why is he on the internet acting like he a fight when he know in real life he ran in every situation? You know you see them all the time. Or these niggas you went to high school with, like, now they be on the internet. Even grown, won't be 30, 40 talking shit on the internet. But in high school, motherfucker was putting your ass in the locker, motherfucker slapping you all upside your shit. You wouldn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't have changed that much. It's just social media, right? Okay, so it's the same thing with these draconian reptilians. They ain't changed. We've been warned with this since the beginning of eons, nigga. Eons.
Kino, appreciate you.
Energy cycles. That's why y'all gotta go watch Star Wars, because it tells you about this war between us and them. But they call in Star Wars, they called us the Sith. Darth Vader and them was on the Sith side. They called us the dark side of the Force in Star Wars, nigga. Why? Because we come from dark matter energy, nigga. Energy doesn't have a good or bad. You make it good or bad. So what the Jedi Knights represented in Star Wars, they had the green swords, Luke Skywalker. Although the Jedi Knights looked like they were stronger in the movie, it always couldn't none of them beat nobody from the dark side. You ever wondered why, nigga? And theirs was light and red. And green is the heart chakra, so it's within the chakra point, green vibrates higher. Red is the lowest vibration, right? So ask yourself, like, why did they do that?
But here's my video of the day. And it's disturbing. And remember I told you one day we won't be able to do this? It's here.
If you're not radicalized yet, let me show you this real quick. Stay with me. This is from the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS website. It is still online, but it's a little harder to find, so go ahead and screenshot this and keep it. These are the things that are defined as violent or terrorism by U.S. definition, okay? If you're a military vet that has your own personal perspective of any experience that you have had overseas, you're violent. You're a terrorist. If you're an anti-war individual or group, you are violent. You are a terrorist. Maybe that's why we've seen, I don't know, the cops doing what they've been doing the past couple of days with the university. If you question what your taxes are used on or where they go, or you refuse to pay them, you are violent. You are a terrorist. If you form a group to protect your rights, you are violent. You are a terrorist. And we've seen this worldwide by the U.S. for years. If you use alternative media to get your information, i.e. TikTok, you are violent. You are a terrorist. If you reference the Constitution, which your rights are written into, you are violent. You are a terrorist. If you support third-party candidates, you are violent. You are a terrorist. If you support an audit of the Federal Reserve, you are violent. You are a terrorist. Obviously, there's a bunch of other stuff on there too. Y'all should probably read, but you get the point.
This is that form behind me. I will blow it up. You can look this up on the internet. Via the Homeland Security. They have declared war on the American people. Yeah. If you reference the Constitution as your rights, you are a terrorist. If you get your news via social media, you are a terrorist. If you support a third party, independent party,
crazy,
you are a terrorist.
It's crazy, right?
And if you don't like this video, and don't start talking to your people, and you are what's wrong with this fucking country. You probably have a house. You probably don't give a fuck because you got your little piece of the pie. And you're just going to allow this to happen because your life's okay. You are what's wrong with this country. And I mean that respectfully.